crystalline core and our human body have been undergoing a profound evolutionary realignment. I'm sure many of you have felt that. Well, my experience with crystal sound, and specifically the crystal tones singing bowls, has really brought home to me the fact that they can alchemize that experience. They can expedite that experience. In this episode, I will begin to explore the intersection between the sound of these bowls, how they work, and the transformative effect they have on our bodies. Sound is infinite. It knows no boundaries. There are no walls it can't penetrate. It moves through everything, including our human bodies, our human experience, and the creative life we seek. Greetings and welcome. My name is Tryshe Dhevney, and I would like to introduce my few of my besties, my crystalline besties. We're covering the crystal bowls because they are, I think, the preeminent ally for doing the kind of work that we've been talking about in the previous episodes. The work on having awareness about who we are and how we proceed in this amazing world, and how that journey is structured for planet Earth. So these bowls, beautiful beings, I feel are very much alive. I feel they're sentient. They're made of very high-grade quartz, and they are fused with, in various forms, with gemstones, metals, and minerals that create deeper harmonic overtones for each of these bowls. The quality of these bowls in their crystalline structure mimics the crystalline liquid crystal matrix in our own bodies. So that's why the effect is immediate. Now I'm talking about these particular bowls. These bowls are made by a company called Crystal Tones out of Utah. I've played other bowls. Other bowls don't have this quality. To the untrained ear, they sound lovely. But if you're looking to have an experience that is layered, nuanced, and profound, these are the instruments I have found that I will only work with these bowls. This was my very first bowl. It's an androgynous indium. Indium is a trace mineral. So that particular bowl has a particular tone all its own. They all come out with their own voice, much like us. We have our own voice when we are birthed. So this is emerald. This is a combination of emerald, morganite, and platinum. This is an amalgam of about 5 different alchemies, we call them. These both are in what Crystal Tones calls the Divine Series. So they have 4, 5, and 6 different alchemies that produce this particular sound. And this beauty is Lemurian seed and pink aura gold. When I'm working with these bowls, I have to prepare myself to work with them. Now this is a personal choice, but I understand sound to the degree where I recognize that quartz crystal is magnetizing and optimizing everything that is around it. And I'm one of those crystalline bowls. So I perceive myself as being just another bowl. And so my tuning has to be commensurate with the quality of the sound that I want to produce. Because if I'm in a jarred place, upset, hurried, the bowls will reflect that. I can see it and hear it. You may not, but maybe you do. If you've been in a sound meditation, sound bath situation, and you feel there's a lot of a jarring energy, people playing very loud, maybe they're combining different instruments and it's an oversaturation of sound, your body could be responding in a way that is triggering for you. And before I go on, I want to give you, the listener, and those in attendance of any kind of sound experience, if your nervous system is triggered, I give you absolute permission to pick up your mat and leave. because nothing is worth you being re-traumatized by sounds that are so oversaturating for you. And nobody can tell if it's going to be that way for you or not. It's only your system that is responding, and you can just slip out and leave. I have also heard people say things like, don't go, you're leaving right before the magic happens. You're undergoing a transformation. You're releasing a lot of, stuff. And I would say that your inner conversation is, thank you, and I'm leaving. Because nobody else knows what you're going through. Only you will have the understanding that this is not a safe place for you in that particular moment. I've heard stories from people who have wept, who get headaches, who vomit, who feel like vomiting. All of this is a trauma response. So please know that anytime you feel upset for any reason, around the bowls, not around the bowls, you have to give yourself permission to leave. That said, these bowls have intense magic. The layers are producing various harmonic code, if you will. When I play certain bowls, like this particular one, with this emerald bowl, you can hear both the octave resonance, it's the same note, or what you also hear embedded within both of these are sounds that are making a binaural wave pattern. When these bowls make a binaural pulse, they're, in my estimation, even more profound, because typical binaural beats, where you're putting two tones that are at varying, just a slight off on pitch, they make this wobble, wah, wah, wah. You can hear it here in both the octave. You hear that sound. It's hemispheric brain balancing is what's going on. What's happening is you're expanding and compressing. There's way more information that's happening through these tones for your entire body. Yes, it's working on the brain to bring balance to the brain itself. It's actually creating a phantom third tone right in the middle that's holding that energetically. But your body is receiving this compression and expansion. What that offers you is harmonic information or vibration that increases your awareness, your sensitivity, and your potential for experiencing yourself. Mind you, you're having an experience when you're listening to these bowls. An experience is necessary for you to have awareness. And awareness of a thing is necessary for you to have knowledge. And knowledge of a thing allows you to move into wisdom. Now I have the silicone wand that is played with most of the crystal tones bowls, but I have this beauty. I like using this because it's a very delicate touch. I don't like to beat my bowls. I don't like to hit them. But I like sometimes just having a gentle touch. Now, as I said, bowls will respond to you as the player of the bowls, because the music you create, you're one of the bowls. And if you're not in tune, if you're distracted, if you're attached, that's a big one. A lot of us get attached. I know I was early on in my work with this. I wanted to help. I wanted to please. I wanted to heal. I wanted to do a lot of things for the audience. And I created situations that, though others may not have noticed, I was aware of, because I was exhausted when I would get home. I was concerned, did somebody get something out of it? Am I doing the right thing? All of those concerns, those worries and doubts. all part of my insecurity at the time, that was needing to move into a new state of awareness. So today, I only play the bowls because I love playing the bowls. I have no agenda. I do not set out to heal, fix, change, or control anything. And in so doing, allow the audience to have their own experience, because I'm now no longer attached to an outcome. I'm no longer hoping you have an experience that is meaningful. When I do trainings, I often will tell, so I'll start with this. Nobody needs my help. Nobody needs my help. Now, will someone ask me for help? Sure. And will I step up? Sure. But nobody needs my help. I'm not offering a service that you need and that I can deliver. I do this for me, because every time I do, I'm in a state of joy. And I recognize today, if you've listened to all of our other podcast episodes, you're the transmitter and the receiver. If you are in a state of joy, ease, non-attachment, not out to fix, change, manage anything, then the quality of the experience that is emanating from you is authentic. And not only are you influencing those physical bodies in the room, the room itself is very much alive. It's a living organism. It's holding the energy. And then I realized later, there is an audience beyond which I cannot even imagine. It is such a vast audience, and it's every being beyond this time-space continuum. And everyone leans into this experience with sound. Sound creates a portal that allows dimensional experience that comes from other dimensions that we can't understand. I don't know if they're coming from galaxies, the heavens, whatever. But energy and beings lean in. So whenever I do a sound experience, I always create a dome of harmonic information and light over the space to hold the integrity of what's going on, so we don't have any energetic interlopers. That's how powerful these bowls are. They are seen and heard in other dimensions. What I've also seen happen and maybe you do too, I don't see it all the time, but I can see other auric energies occupying the space. I didn't do anything special. It's just that was a moment in time that energy wanted to come. But they can only come if I'm not attached to being the player of the bowl, if I'm not attached to having an outcome, if I'm not attached to managing your experience. So that I'm freed up to be the vessel through which the sound comes. So I see these as allies, because what they do is create the capacity for greater harmonic and sensory information. The body relaxes, you soften, you're able to receive. You do that all on your own. If I'm there attached to you feeling something, if I'm playing because I think your shoulder needs this tone or this bowl, then I've just interrupted what's possible. I love this instrument for chiming because it's very soft, very light, it bounces off. This is not produced by Crystal Tones, but it's a wonderful instrument. This silicone wand is what I use now from Crystal Tones. So there are many ways to play this bowl. But I want to just suggest that playing lightly, touch lightly, brings forth what we would call the foundation or fundamental tone. If I push this bowl too hard and too loud, you'll hear it with this one, it starts to pitch. It will start to sharp. Same here. You hear it start to flat there. So when I listen, I activate it, touch so lightly so that the sound, the purest sound of this bowl is able to come through. Playing like that, for me, what I've found, optimizes the sound. It magnetizes the energy, and there's nothing else but the sound and the energy moving on the sound. Oftentimes I'll hear people play very loud and because they think they need to. What I have had to learn, because I speak from having experience, but if I play lightly, if I allow the bowls to just linger, the energy begins to change, and those in attendance are able to lean in. They're not pushed away. They're not having to protect themselves because the sound is so overwhelming, but they lean in and they listen and they travel with the sound all the way to quietude. And there's another sound. So I play these bowls as if it's an exquisite landscape. And there are areas that are low and deep, and then they find resonance in that place of calm, and then it starts to build and move. Another octave. Octave resonance is so extraordinary. And then I may activate it really a strong way and then release. I don't keep playing. If you were raised on the white frosted bowls, you're accustomed to playing and playing and playing, keeping it going. These bowls do not require that kind of attention. Also, those bowls were made with a lower grade quartz so that they are not able to maintain the resonance. These bowls have such a high grade of quartz that they linger. Now, in other episodes, we were also talking about the voice. And I would like to invite you, whoever you are, however many bowls you have, or want to have, or about to have, even if you have only one bowl, begin to make a sound with the bowl. The pairing of these two cannot be quantified because it's crystalline structure and human consciousness that are coming together in this experience. So if it's just a simple something like there was a time when I would say, oh, I have to warm up, I have to make my voice clear, I've got to be able to sing something that's beautiful. It's like, no, this is the moment. This is what's happening in the moment. And when you join your voice with the bowl, no matter what pitch you're in, you and the bowl have a dynamic interface. It's a covenant that you have, and that begins to change the field. And this field I'm talking about is not just the room you're sitting in or this cushion that you're sitting upon. It is extending out far beyond your neighborhood, beyond the county you live in, the city you live in, the town, beyond the beyond. And you are feeding light, because sound converts to light, to worlds beyond us. Those of you choosing to either work with these bowls, whether it's 1, 2, 10, 40, your contribution is that of light and sound. Thank you for joining me in this moment of sound and sovereignty. This is the last installment for this particular year, and we are continuing to enjoy the extraordinary mystery of sound and what it is to find the sovereignty in your own being. It never ends. To learn more, come visit us at soundshifting.com, and we can show you a little bit more about how to work with this energy. There's a free ebook about the primordial tones, accessible to anyone. Thank you again. It's been an honor to share it with you.